Etapu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Harun Nefa, Grand Rising. May Buddha bless you. This is Qesankh with another video for you. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the mass programming and Black Panther, the Woman King, and Lizzo. But before I get into that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. And if this is your first time to my channel, hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about my spiritual teachings, you can scroll down below, click on one of the ebooks, download them. They're free, and start reading today. But if you want to see how far the rabbit goes down the rabbit hole, you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. It's up to you. You can cancel anytime. You will get exclusive access to instructional videos on the spiritual, on the esoteric. Videos that will teach you how to meditate, how to astral project, how to put together a magical amulet, how to do self-hypnosis to curb negative or bad behaviors. And if you're an Osir level supporter, you get all your oracle readings for free. So become a Patreon supporter. Last but not least, please share this video with family and friends so we can get this revolution started. YouTube has done everything they can to prevent my channel from growing as it should. I don't know why, but they tend to promote other channels that are very negative in the information they put out there. I just got done talking with my attorney because we're looking to file a case. And when I advise people, because a lot of people come to me wanting to know about suing their former employer, and what I typically will tell them is you have to understand the way the Western system, the Western legal system works. It doesn't matter if you're right. In fact, most times when people come to me, I assume they're right. It's more so how you stack the deck in your favor. Do you have a lot of hard evidence? Are you going to get a good jury? Does the law support you? And in many instances with people of color, the law does not support us. And taking a case against a major company is very costly. It could drag out for years, and you have to make sure that you have that type of money. Now, I believe that the EEOC should take on as many cases as possible, but they don't. They only take on a case if there's hard evidence, like a video of someone calling you the N-word. Well, anyway, I digress. My attorney is a fighter, meaning he won't give up until he's explored all options. And I really appreciate that. And this is not my first rodeo. I've been in court before. I've sued people and, all the things of that nature. And I'll probably do a video in the near future on, if you're having some issues at work, how to go about filing a lawsuit when you don't have money, because I filed a number of lawsuits and I didn't have any money, but I had the my guides to help me, my spirit guides to help me and lead me in the right direction. So, in speaking about that, I want to talk about being a fighter, but more so I want to talk about epigenetics, or what we may call social engineering. So what is epigenetics? What is social engineering? I'll just break it down simply as that when you create external conditions that have a profound impact on the behavior of people, and that behavior of people is carried from generation to generation, that is a type of social engineering. When you put people and you compact them in a project complex, you're going to create a certain level of tension. That tension is going to have adverse effects such as shootings, fights, and things of that nature. And if that continues, that will carry on from one generation to another generation. And this is real world. This is one of the problems that we're having right now. You see, African Americans and white people on the bottom of the totem pole would do fine if the oligarchy would just leave them alone. But the oligarchy doesn't. So what does the oligarchy do? When I talk about the oligarchy, I mean the Illuminati, the cabal. They do everything they can in multiple variations to create conflict, to create conditions that are not conducive to your existence, because they don't want you on the planet. See, for some reason, this cabal is screwed up in the head, and I'm going to explain it to you. They have genetically engineered their line because they are inbred and they marry within each other to keep the bloodline pure. But not only that, they have genetically engineered themselves to not feel empathy, which is why they can crash a plane into the World Trade Center, killing hundreds and hundreds of people and not care, which is why they can start wars, drop bombs in Hiroshima and not care. They don't feel the same way you and I do for our brothers and sisters, because they have eliminated that faculty from within them through genetic engineering. Now, they have done this in a laboratory. The way they're doing it to us is through epigenetics. They are creating external conditions to apply pressure to us so that that pressure will rewrite our DNA. But first, what they want to do is they want to co-opt the mind. You see, I've always said this. I said this from the very beginning when I started my YouTube channel. Whereas you have conspiracy theorists talk about the New World Order and how the military will put into effect a type of what is it called? The military will restrict the movements of people, will control the people through a coup d'etat. That will never happen. That will never happen. And I kept telling people in the conspiracy theory arena that there will be no usurping of power. There will be no military might to come and get the people in order. And I want you to pay careful attention to what I'm about to say, because I'm revealing their plan. What the Illuminati wants to do is a type of psyops or MK Ultra. They want to condition your mind to such a degree that you will willingly fight to be enslaved, that you will fight tooth and nail for your own enslavement. That's what they're going to do, because it's more efficient. Because when you start putting in tanks, helicopters into these communities, then what will rise out of that is a rebellion and a martyr. They don't want that, and they know that's typically what will happen. So to prevent that, they know the best course of action is to program the people in such a way that they go along with their own enslavement. And this is called, David, I call this the totalitarian tiptoe. It's done incrementally in ways you don't even understand. And you can witness this now. Oh, there's more than one gender. We have to be sensitive. Use the correct pronouns. This is going exactly according to George Orwell's 1984. Newspeak. Conditioning you how to talk and how to think. And most people will regurgitate this. So from these think tank institutions, Tavistock, Council on Foreign Relations, and Bill Gates' organizations, what they do is they put together a 100, 200-year plan. And they implement that plan right away because what they want to see in the future is they don't want any genders. They want Satanism. And to do that, they have to infiltrate music, the entertainment industry, news, media, to program you to accept that being a pedophile is okay, to accept Satanism, to accept being non-binary, to accept these agendas. And they create a type of logical argument for it and put these through the colleges to be taught. So everyone graduating has been indoctrinated into this way of thinking, which is backwards and destructive and not what God wants for us, not what Ma'at wants for us. So what you do is you go out there and you proselytize about how there's 133 genders, how men are evil, their toxic masculinity. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you, because you become so indoctrinated in it, you don't question things that they do. Because you become a willing participant in your own enslavement. You see, this is a hard pill to swallow. And I'm probably the only one that is going to tell you this. I'm being honest and truthful, and I'm not meaning to hurt anybody. But the masses of people have a low IQ. They're not the brightest bulb. And the ruling elite know that. So in the way they dispense the information is very simplified on a 5th grade level. Reading. So you pick up something, you read it, it's on a 5th grade level. They don't want you really educated. They want you dumbed down. See, one of the greatest thinkers of our time was Imhotep. He's a multi-genius. And that's because ancient Kemet, Egypt, knew how to teach. They knew the purpose of a university. What you're seeing with these universities now is not a proper way of teaching. All the universities are doing is testing you on how well you regurgitate information and what they told you. But they're not actually teaching you how to think like Nikola Tesla or Imhotep. They're not. So you'll never produce a society that produces more Einsteins because they'll be flukes. When in ancient Kemet, you have brilliant people to each dynasty. This is why they built the pyramids, mapped the stars, traveled to the Duat, the underworld, to know what the afterlife was like. And they wasn't afraid of it. They celebrated women as not just physical objects of beauty, but for the divine feminine, the divine mother, and as an aspect of God. Because you can't have one without the other. You can't have male without female. But see, in this sick, warped society, and something is wrong seriously wrong with the cabal because they are fixated on race. I don't know why. Because the left brain, which deals with segregative thought process, it separates, it labels, and defines, doesn't go that far as what the cabal has. They have taken that left brain and gone to the extreme, and they're fixated on getting you off the planet because of your color, which makes no sense. There's something really warped in their mind. Well, that's evident because they're into Satanism. But we don't have to worry about that because the majority of us will never see them because they hide behind the veil. The only people you'll probably be exposed to is Bill Gates, people like him. Because they put those individuals to the forefront. While they, multi-trillionaires, hide in the shadows, manipulating things. George Soros, he's not the cabal. His wealth is nothing compared to the wealth of the cabal. Now, here's the part where it gets tricky. You see, now we have a society of nincompoops. You see, I spoke about this years ago. I said they're gonna program you to such a degree that you're gonna fight for your own enslavement, and that is what we're doing now. I told people and I warned people of movies like The Woman King. Of movies, I warned people before the first Black Panther came out that the Black Panther would be effeminate. Oh, they called me coon and this and that, called me all kinds of names, went to my picture and photoshopped it. Because I told them, I said, it's subtle, but that Black Panther is very feminine. And they're doing this to all the characters. Blade. Now you're starting to see it. But you see, the masses of us who don't have a third eye open, our uchat, are going along with the program and are attacking the very people who are trying to save them. When I said The Woman King is a fiction, a fictionalized story where they make heroes out of slave traders and murderers. The Dahomey was so brutal and savage. I would not go near the theater to see that movie for fear of the ancestors retaliating, and they will. And what you see now is Hollywood slowly releasing films painting Black men as the enemy. What's that one that recently came out? Harriet. They created a fictional character of a bounty hunter who's out there to try and kill Harriet so he can get that money and buy white women or something of that nature. That character never existed, nor would they all have allowed him to do that. Oprah Winfrey making all these documentaries on Black men, Russell Simmons, Michael Jackson, casting aspersions on them, doing their bidding. See, their goal is to program the minds of Black women to where they become themselves white supremacists. That's the goal. They want Black women to become white supremacists. This is why they have been indoctrinated from the very beginning from Margaret Sanger, Gloria Steinem, who was a CIA agent, which tells you that feminism was created by the CIA. And white women have been manipulating black women for decades with this feminist talk. See, white women are not going to do the dirty work on their own. They're going to use black women to go out there and do the dirty work. This is why you have black women who become feminists, and the first thing they do is attack black men as if black men are the patriarchy. They're not. Black men are oppressed. So instead of these black women levying issues against white men who have raped them, created birthing farms where they impregnated all these black women and forced them to give birth to light-skinned kids, where they would enslave them. Birthing farms where the slave master would impregnate through raping the black woman, and she would give birth to a son who would have no claim to the wealth of the slave master, and they would live in abject poverty. But instead of taking that case to court, they focus their anger at black men, and then every opportunity they get, when the mic is put on them in television, radio, what have you, the internet, they say all of this venomous, negative stuff about black men. And no other race does that. White women don't do that. Chinese women don't do that. Arab women don't do that. Because the target has always been black women to condition their mindset to be that of the oppressor. Their argument, black women should be against white men. So what I'm saying is through epigenetics and social engineering, you have now become the slave master. You have taken on his ideology. And you go along with his program willingly. The woman king. Black women talking about, oh, it's so great that we have black women who look strong and independent. A woman should not be looking strong. You want to look feminine always. You want to look beautiful always. White women, since the beginning of cinema, they've always created the lens with the soft, focused, so that when you see the white woman, she looks very soft and dainty. And if they didn't have a lens that could do that, they would put Vaseline on the lens. And so it would give a more soft appearance to white women. But they don't want you to look beautiful. They want to switch the genders. They want black women to emulate men, to be masculine. This is why none of those women in the Woman King look sexually attractive. Go look at Wonder Woman in the Amazons. They were kicking butt, and boy, did they look sexy. But you don't see it in Woman King. But I'm going to take it a step further. We have been so conditioned to accept film after film after film of us enslavement or as bushmen in the jungles, primitive and savage. We're okay with those depictions. Will Smith's got a film coming out called Emancipation. What's the difference between that and the 12 Years a Slave? That is not your history. The Woman King, Emancipation, 12 Years a Slave, that is not your history. Your history is of building empires. Egypt, Ethiopia, Atlantis, Lemuria. Do your research. We built empires with high technology. Atlantis was so badass, they were more advanced than the Egyptians. But you don't know that because you keep accepting these depictions of us enslaved. Let me tell you something. When you're looking at the fact that Egypt lasted for at least 10,000 years, And our enslavement here in North America, what lasted, 300 years? What is 10,000 years compared to 300? Why are you focusing on a minute aspect or a minute part of something that happened to us without tackling the larger aspects of who we were as a people, which were kings, queens, generals, the people who created civilization? Every movie that comes out of us as bush people, slaves, sports figures, we support. We support. We have allowed them to create the narrative. Meanwhile, they make gods of Egypt with them pretending to be Egyptians, stealing our legacy, stealing our stories. There is overwhelming evidence that they were never the Egyptians, that Black people were the ancient Egyptians. Black people built and people of color built all of the mighty empires in China. The Nak people were the first Chinese Black people. Go back to the Mayan culture. You will see our presence, but they don't want to do great stories depicting that. They want to keep lying, and you accept the lie. Listen, stop it. Stop going to see these movies. Stop supporting the sports. Stop supporting these rap artists, and you will scare the Illuminati if you do that. You will terrify them. But you are so programmed that you fight for your own enslavement, people. And you cuss out and you attack those people who try to awaken you to the fact of what you're doing. Caesar said, "Give them bread and circuses, and they will never revolt." Let me say that again. Give them bread and circuses, and they will never revolt. This is what's happening. We're not going to revolt. We're not going to do a damn thing because we're too programmed. Black Panther just released their posters in their second movie trailer, and there are no Black men in it. No Black men. I believe Shuri is the next Black Panther. I could be wrong. But when I pointed this out several months ago, that they were eliminating Black men from the trailer, they called me coon. They called me all kinds of names. You see how deep the programming goes? I'm trying to help these Black men, and these Black men are siding with these white supremacists. I'm saying, hey, Black men, they are marginalizing you. They are kicking you out of the entertainment industry and replacing you with Black women who have a white supremacist mindset. And you're too stupid and low of an IQ to realize what they are doing. I see it very clearly. The woman king degraded Black men. Listen, history tells us the truth. The Dahomey got their asses kicked in every battle. They suffered high losses. But yet the movie depicts them as kicking men's ass. No, I'm sorry, that doesn't happen. Now we have the Disney films come out, The Little Mermaid, and all these other Disney films, where the Black Little Mermaid, her love interest is, from my understanding, a white guy. What is it, Prince Eric? Every time they introduce a black female in a Disney film, she has a white or Hispanic lover, but never a black man. But yet the black women celebrate. Ooh, we want to see Little Mermaid. It's so good to see Little Mermaid for our daughters. Ooh, look at the vice president. You go, sister girl. Go, sister girl. Kamala is a joke as a VP. She's not qualified. She has made numerous mistakes. She's created a border crisis. But you voted for her because she's black, but you don't care that she has a white man, as she's married to a white man. But as soon as you see a black man with a white woman, you're upset. Whoa, I'm upset. But you celebrate when a black woman is with a white man. The mindset is screwed up. The mindset is screwed up. I'm not supporting The Little Mermaid because I want Disney to answer the fact that why doesn't she have a black love interest? Why isn't the prince black? A black man. And he had two other animated things where the woman is in love with a white man. You see what they're trying to do? They're trying to make your God the white man. They're conditioning your mindset and your DNA to be white supremacists, and that you will gladly turn against your men. You will gladly fight for your own imprisonment. I was seriously attacked so much on Facebook that I had to go to the Facebook administration and tell them to stop sending out my posts, because my post had went viral when I exposed the fact that Black Panther didn't have any black men in the trailer. It went viral. And the people were just attacking me. The black women were attacking me. The black men were attacking me. And here's the argument, which is a profoundly stupid argument. You don't want to see sisters progress? What's wrong with having a strong sister? What's wrong with that? Sisters can be in leadership roles. Sisters can be superheroes. You dumbass idiot. They're trying to exterminate you. It has nothing to do with a sister being in a position of power. No, it has more to do with them wanting to exterminate you and use by proxy the black woman, you dumbass. Don't even know what 1 + 1 is. I'm up there trying to tell you there's a larger agenda here, and you're not getting it. You're not seeing what's going on. Look at it. Connect the dots, you idiot. Look at The Little Mermaid. Look at Black Panther 2. Look at The Woman King. What do they all have in common? The elimination of black men. What happened when Nate Parker tried to come out with a good film called Birth of a Nation, which showed a black man who loved his black woman, and he started a revolution. Oh, they sicked the feminists on him. And they shut that film down from making any money. You folks need medical attention. You need to check up from the neck up. You've been programmed. You've downloaded the software. And you're so selfish. Ma'atem. Selfish, because you see your little trinkets of gain, the Woman King, and you celebrate black woman. You don't celebrate that. There's no gain in that. Did a black studio produce that? No. Did a black bank finance that? No. Did a black marketing company put that out? No. So what are you celebrating? It was made by two white women who were lesbians. Again, you're being manipulated by white feminists. Margaret Sanger, Gloria Steinem, CIA agent. Put it together. You're being played. A white woman loves to see you all sweaty in the jungle. You see, it doesn't make you look good. And they know when they portray those images, their white men won't see you as attractive. Or maybe they will. They have a weird fetish. Y'all are so behind. And you're not catching up. You're so behind. The feminist was created by the CIA. There was no such thing as patriarchy or feminism in ancient Africa, in ancient Kemet, because women had rights automatically. Women were in government. Women were in the sciences. Women were definitely in the priesthood. Women were equal to the men. You'll see it wherever you see a pharaoh sitting down, his queen is right next to him. Wherever you see a pharaoh standing up, his queen is right next to him. And yet now you want to eliminate Black men by supporting these vehicles like the Woman King and Black Panther. Young Black boys now have nothing to look up to. Young Black women or young Black girls will look up to getting and hooking up with a white man, because that's what these cartoons are teaching her. You're failed as parents. You failed to indoctrinate your children into a Kemetic spiritual way of life. You have failed to see the programming in front of you. So damn obvious. It's called the elusive obvious. I am not a jungle man. I am not hanging out with Cheetah or Tarzan in the jungle. My lineage comes from Mansa Musa, the richest man on the planet. My lineage comes from Queen Hatshepsut, one of the greatest female pharaohs that ever lived. My lineage comes from Queen T, a Black woman who was very stern and ruled with an iron fist. But you want to be seen as slaves. Every time a slave movie comes out, you want to support it. We need to start boycotting those films, start boycotting sports, start boycotting rap, which is satanic. And most of all, we need to boycott Lizzo's fat ass, because they have put her out there and given her success because she's obese, because they want Black women to emulate that. They want to tell Black women, there's nothing wrong with you being obese. Look at Lizzo. She is a disgusting human being. And how dare she get up there and play James Madison's flute, knowing that he was a racist? How dare she do that? Her fat stink ass. She needs to be canceled. And there's a whole lot of wrong with being that much fatness. Open to heart disease, respiratory problems, problems giving birth. All you have to do, I hear you there. I totally hear you there. All you got to do is we just have to stop going and supporting these movies and then support the movies that the independent filmmakers are making. But we don't want to do that. You see, Tyler Perry became rich dancing in a dress, effeminate. They gave him a studio. They said, keep making more Medea. We love Medea. You see, Black Panther 2 rightly should have had Killmonger become the next Black Panther. But you can't have that. You see, they want to send a message to black women that you don't need a black man, that you can fight battles on your own. There's never been a civilization of Amazonian women. Get that straight, because they will be eliminated so quickly. I'm sorry, but the truth is men are stronger, faster, and in war, they're more cutthroat. You will die. It's as simple as that. The Woman King is a fantasy movie. It's a lie made by two white women manipulating Viola Davis, who all she does is pander to white men. She did that film, The Help. And after she did The Help, she cried, "Oh, I apologize for doing that film. It was so degrading." Okay, well, get back your check. You didn't do that, did you? Nah, you didn't get back your check, did you? Now she does The Woman King. More humiliating. Trying to make black women look like men. Celebrate your divine femininity. Your goal is not to try and compete with your man. It's to be there by his side. You see, one thing that you need to understand, television makes stars. YouTube does as well. YouTube makes influencers. It's not organic. YouTube decides who it's going to make popular and sets its algorithm up so it pushes that person's video out there over and over again to get subscribers. Same with TV. They push Lizzo out there for their twisted agenda. Everywhere you go, you see Lizzo, Lizzo. That's not by accident. It's not by accident you see Lizzo everywhere. Winning image awards. How the hell was she winning an image award? That tells you that you're dealing with a sinister force that is out for your destruction. You see, they've come up with the most devious plan that's working. And I got to give them credit. They're evil geniuses. They figured out that if they could attack black men through black women, they could divide the race, stop procreation, and create a gender war. And my God, they have successfully done it. They have programmed black women's mindset to the fact that they just on an autopilot, they just attack black men, attack dogs. Come out the gate. And white women are no better in what they're doing. This white man has traveled all over the planet, conquered every country, continent, raped and pillaged, and bring the booty back to white women and put white women on a pedestal as the pinnacle of beauty in the world. And still the white woman's not satisfied. Well, you oppress me. Well, how am I oppressing you, Becky? You make me stay home while you go to war. You make me stay home while you go to the coal mines and work. You make me stay home while you're up there building skyscrapers. Those are very tough jobs, Becky. Would you like to do that? No. Then why are you complaining? Because you oppress me. Well, how? Because you make more money than me. Well, of course I do, because I do very dangerous jobs. I do construction. I work in the coal mines with dynamite. I'm all skyscrapers where I can trip and fall and die. That's why I'm paid more. If you want to do that, you can get the equivalent pay. No, I don't want to do that. That's too hard, too rough. How dare this white woman complain when this white man has done everything to make her life more comfortable? She has not had to go to war, has not gone to work in construction, to build any buildings, to work underground tunnels, to work the sewer systems. She has not done any of that, yet she's still complaining she's oppressed. That's bull. That is bull. Every beauty contest, she wins. And the new Miss America is Miss White Woman from Idaho. And the new Miss America is Miss White Woman from Texas. Oh, they'll throw Black, Hispanic women token here and there. Did I tell you about the story about Brazil? How the mindset is so twisted? Miss Brazil, a woman won that title who was a dark-skinned Black woman, because Brazil is, heavily Black. She won the title, but the population complained because they did not like her because she was so dark. So the judges ended up, because of public pressure, taking the title from her and giving it to a light-skinned woman. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? That's how screwed up our mindsets are. Remember, I said what the plan is: the totalitarian tiptoe, meaning it's going to happen slow, incremental steps, and they're going to program you, or via the woman, the Black woman, to hate herself and to hate you. Her mindset is, I want everything the white woman has. I want to be like the white woman. But she can't. You can't. With that psychosis, she projects her frustration on Black men, because Black men cannot give her the things that white women have. And then the white woman comes along from the feminist movement and says, you know what? All your problems come from Black men. They are the evil patriarchy. But wait, sister, don't you mean the white man because he has oppressed us? No. It's the Black man. The Black man has oppressed you. So go, sister girl. Do you see how backwards this is? Do you see the mental Jedi mind trick that they're playing? And again, we fight tooth and nail for our own oppression. Here I am warning people, warning them about what's going on with Hollywood, the Black Panther, the Woman King, Emancipation, Lizzo. I'm warning them. I'm saying, listen, these movies are eliminating Black men. That's not right. But if movies came out and eliminated Black women, they would all be upset. All be upset. If movies came out with little boys were falling in love with little white girls, oh, they would be upset. But it's okay to have a Little Mermaid have a prince who's white. How the hell do you think that's good? How the hell do you even dare show that to your child? Are you out of your damn mind? If I had a daughter and she told me she wanted to see the Little Mermaid, I would laugh in their face and go, hey, listen, I'll buy you a goldfish tank. That's your Little Mermaid. You are not going to see some film where the little girl falls in love with a white man. Are you out of your freaking mind? That creates self-hatred. Black woman, you're being trained and taught to attack black men right out the gate. And they're doing it on an occult level. They're using pendulums and ergobores. You see, a lot of black women have the same mentality. A lot of black men have the same mentality. How is that possible? Is that like a cultural norm or cultural virus? It comes because you have become under the influence of an ergobore or pendulum, meaning you're downloading a program that has been uploaded to them. So you're downloading a program of white supremacy in your mindset, and it's replacing your software that was originally there to protect you and to preserve your race and to love your race and to love your man and to love your woman. This new program now is teaching you to disrespect your man. And to challenge anyone that comes along to try and save you. A lot of people, a lot of women, they're going to hear what, it's amazing how I can talk about these things, but yet those women will hear what they want to hear. Qesankh, I can't believe you said that. You hate black women. Qesankh, I can't believe you said that. You hate white women. You're part of the patriarchy. Because they hear what they want to hear. Because when you try and bring a message of love, cooperation, and ma'at, the programming doesn't take that. It spits it back out. Bloodsport, that's actually correct. And now here's another program. You see, black men are weak, are very, very weak, soft. They have been programmed to be that way. They're very passive. They're very, they supplicate to black women. They don't stand up and speak out for themselves. They don't engage in mass protest. They protest, but they don't get together with other brothers and protest like they should. You see, the programming has stuck with black men because that's how they were raised by their mothers, to be weak, to not challenge the system, to not be a Braveheart or William Wallace, to not be a King Arthur. To not be a Neo. You see, black women will kill each other, but allow a white woman who was responsible for Emmett Till's murder to live to 90 years old. To push the agenda of black women and have their own agenda. No, I don't. I don't exclusively date black women. No. Black men, you've got to get balls. You've got to be Hurukuhuti, the warrior god. You are too weak, too passive, and you allow these things. See, our fathers dropped the ball. They're weak and passive. We've got to now change that and have to become warriors and stand up to the system. Freedom or die trying. We are fearful I had a white friend who says, I love black men because you know what? They look so stylish. They always look confident. I said, yeah, but they're a bunch of weak asses. I was being serious. They're a bunch of weak asses. And they are. Because their own self-interest, they won't stand up for it. There's no way black men should allow Little Mermaid to come out. There's no way they should allow Black Panther 2 to come out. Hey, my odd son, I didn't say interracial dating was bad. I never said that. You see, you'll hear black men talk. Oh, they'll get to, they'll join the Israelites, the Nation of Islam, and be badass. But when it comes time for a real revolution, they're nowhere to be found. Black men are good at talking. See, we have low self-esteem, both black women and black men. And I'm going to end it on here. Our self-esteem is so low that we mistake symbolism for actual progress. You see, many of us will get on YouTube and start our YouTube channels and think we're actually doing something. Because the YouTube channels feeds our ego, our low self-esteem. And we'll get on the channels and complain and say this and say that, but never organize and never do anything. We're good at overanalyzing the problem. Analysis of paralysis. But when it comes time to do something, nothing. Black women will go to church and the minister will lie to you and telling you having your third baby daddy or whatever is okay. Yet none of you are trying to preserve and keep the Kemetic way of life, the Kemetic spiritual way of life. None of you have thrown aside Christianity and said, my way of life is the Kemetic spiritual way. Because you're weak. You're not an innovator. You're not a thought leader. You're not an early adapter. And then you want to complain about Hollywood taking, like cultural appropriation, making themselves look like the Egyptians. Well, you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. You're not celebrating your ancient Kemetic ancestors in any meaningful way. You haven't organized a temple with Ma'at or Aset, Isis. So why shouldn't white people take it? Because you don't care about it. You only care about it when they take it. Then you bitch about it. But you're not going to really do anything. We're too weak. We're being crushed. It's divide and conquer. I'm just telling you the lay of the land. The rest is up to you. I don't know this Dojo. Who are you talking about? I don't know this person. Send me a link to their stuff. I don't know this person. I'm always open to reading new books and things of that nature. But as I close out today, please remember to hit the like button and donate to the channel if you can. But above all, please remember, you're not a slave. You're not a color. You're not a gender. You're a God. Act appropriately. This is Qesankh Ma'Keperu, son of Ma'at Tudi. Ma'at is the beautiful goddess Hetheru. Until my next video, Amin Ra.